Kia ora, I'm Annelisa and this is the fuel fill calculator. Which petrol station is cheapest for you to fill up at? Even if you're aware of petrol station prices, it would be difficult to answer this decisively. Should you travel a little farther for the cheap fuel or just fill up nearby? Motorists in New Zealand don't have accurate information about the cost involved with purchasing fuel. How are motorists to know when the cost of travel outweighs the price difference of petrol stations? An Android application is to be developed to provide accurate and timely fuel-saving calculations for motorists. The cost of travel will vary for each individual. Thus, to provide a prediction, we'll need to gather data. This leads to the following questions. How may we collect petrol station prices and how might we measure and predict fuel consumption? As a part of gathering this data, the application looks at interfacing between personal devices and personal vehicles. It is important that power is brought back to the consumers in the fuel industry in New Zealand so that the cost of living remains manageable and environmentally sustainable. Existing technologies will assist our project. GasBuy is an existing mobile application that advertises the fuel prices in New Zealand. It provides a list of petrol stations with a maximum search area listed from least expensive to most. This application is fairly popular with around 700,000 users. However, there is no inclusion of the cost of travel. For our application, we are able to use GasBuy's data on petrol station prices. To assist us with predictions, existing machine learning models were found. Influencing factors for predicting fuel consumption were identified. These included static street parameters, such as the number of stop signs or speed limits, dynamic street parameters, such as traffic levels, car-specific parameters, and personal parameters. The minimum parameters used for estimating fuel consumption include speed, acceleration, and road geometry. In order to collect such information, an onboard diagnostic or OBD Bluetooth device was required for the project. A combination of OBD data and GPS data provide accurate estimations with existing models, with errors around 10%. This device connects to the vehicle, relaying the ECU's data through a Bluetooth connection. By looking at existing applications and their reviews, a list of features was decided. High priority features include the cost of distance, advertised petrol station prices, filters and sorting, and providing a list and map view. Given these features, an interface was designed for the application. These started as rough sketches, which was then translated into a paper prototype. This paper prototype was then tested with a few users to check the design was fit for purpose. The design was then made into an application, which we'll go through with a quick demo. All right, so this is the application. It opens up at the fuel amount page, which is where the user is expected to indicate how much fuel they intend to purchase. So this is just dragging the needle on a fuel gauge or tapping it into place. It is expected here that the OBD device would retrieve the current fuel level, and this would limit how far the needle can go. So if we press go here, we'll be presented with a map of the petrol stations. We can see kind of in this area, it's kind of the same price. We could travel a bit further for cheaper fuel over here. If you look at the list, it's a little bit more detailed. It goes from least expensive to most, and the cost is broken down. So you can see here, there's the rounded estimated purchase cost and the distance cost listed for each petrol station. Both the map and the list have selectable items. So we can click on these petrol stations. It shows us the breakdown of how the app calculated the cost. So there are also customizable settings. We can change the vehicle and some things to do with that, but we can also change how the fuel economy is collected. So at the moment, it's off with a Bluetooth device, and we can change it to manual entry. So this is just entering a number. We can change the default view. We open up to the map. If we change it to the list, every time you open the app, it will go to the list. If we look here, we can see that Waikato Hamilton is in second place at the moment. We go back to those settings and change the trip value to return, the distance cost will double. So this may change the rankings before. If we look back here, you'll see, yes, that Waitomo Hamilton has been demoted because it's just further away than Pack and Save Clarence. So the distance cost isn't as great. And that's just a quick snapshot of the application. This application serves as a proof of concept for a fuel fill calculation application. In order to improve the cost of traveling predictions, the machine learning models mentioned earlier could be incorporated into the application. Routes should also be included in the application, as a motorist is very rarely just doing a return trip to a petrol station. These additions could lead to a non-conventional navigation app, one that considers the most economical or fuel-efficient route rather than the most time-efficient. This allows motorists in New Zealand to have accurate information about the costs involved with purchasing fuel and just using their vehicle in general. Thank you for listening.